everyone, and welcome back to another video. And today's video I'm going to be trying to answer a question that has been bouncing around my head for a while now, and that's whether or not camcorders have a place in consumer households, or if it's even worth owning a camcorder in 2023 going into 2024 and beyond. Now, a lot of you may have already answered that question in your mind with either a yes or no, and if you'd like, you can comment down below why you say yes or no, and I'll go ahead and chime in as well with what I think. But for this video, I'll be answering that question on two grounds, both technical and creative, and why you would want to or not want to on either of those two grounds. Now, the camcorder I'll be using to shoot 95% of this video, and I say 95 because I might just have some insert shots here and there to compare the camcorder to, say, something like your smartphone, and just to have a smartphone video of what the camera looks like for this following tour. Now, taking a quick look around the camera, there we have the flip out LCD screen, again 9.2 megapixel image sensor. On the front here we have our lens with a manual little shutter here, and just the microphones there on the front. On the bottom here we have our screw hole for our tripod. The little door flap that holds the battery in place fell off at some point before I took ownership of it, so I don't know where that is, nor do I really want to buy a replacement for it. And then here we have a little HDMI connector there. I think it's micro HDMI or something like that. I'm not sure what it is. Power in or something. USB charging there. On the back, start stop. On the top we have our zoom controls, photo button, again 60 times zoom, optical steady, and I'm just gonna go ahead and try to, and there we go, we have the camera open. There's no touch screen, it's all controlled by that little nib there, and then under it is the playback button, and then it has Dolby Digital sound with a little speaker there. Down here you have your HDMI. I think that other one was a power connector for USB rather than using the built-in. And then we do have a micro SD card slot there with our HDMI out. And that's about it. Now, older versions of these camcorders used to have built-in audio jacks, but they've since gotten away or removed it. And they've also used to have removable batteries, which again they also removed, or the Active Force batteries that they used to stick out through the back there. But yeah, that's what these look like. The camcorder on the technical side is the Sony HDR CX405, which is still being actively sold today, and it's a little expensive considering what you get and what it does, but it shoots 1080p video and in two formats, either XAVCS, which is higher bitrate, supposedly better quality, that captures at both 60 and 30 frames per second, and it also does ABC HD at 60 frames per second, but most of the camcorders you'll find online probably won't have that. This one is still actively sold and goes often on discount. It also boasts a 9.1 megapixel image sensor, which is a big asterisk, and I'll get to that in just a second, for image stills. And I don't know if I already mentioned it, but it just shoots 1080p video. That's the maximum resolution. There are camcorders that shoot 4K and are a little higher quality, but they're a little more expensive. But still, it's a camcorder with a tiny sensor that probably won't get the same image quality that a phone will get, or even a DSLR, a dedicated video camera, will get. Now, one thing I forgot to mention about the technical aspect is the zoom, and a lot of people like camcorders because of that zoom. Now, in terms of perspective, this camera here has what they call a 60 times zoom. I'm actually looking at it right now because I don't really mind too much, but it's a 60 times zoom. It's 30 times plus another 30 digital, I believe. But a lot of people like camcorders because of their super zoom. And it's an optical zoom, so we try to stay away from digital zoom. And that's kind of one of the main reasons why people technically would want to go for something like this, because it's cheap and you get that big zoom without having to buy the dedicated lenses that a DSLR would need. But in terms of perspective, like I mentioned, my Pixel 7 Pro, Pixel 8, I think the Pixel 6 had a 5x zoom lens. The iPhone, anything between the iPhone 12 and the iPhone 14 have a 3x zoom. The 15 has a 5x zoom, and the Galaxy S23 Ultra has a 2x, 3x, 5x, and a 10x zoom, which doesn't really come close to what the camcorder can do, and it's cheaper. But that might be something that people use as a major argument for camcorders. But other than that, it's not a very good tool to use if you're looking for a high image quality, even in 1080p. Now when it comes to XAVC and AVC HD, I didn't notice any sort of difference. There's no difference at all between both codecs, and I'll flash screen grab here, not a screen grab, but a sample clip here. This is clip A, shot on any of the two codecs, and here is clip B. Now at the end of the video I'll tell you which is A and which is B, but I want you to tell me if you can really tell any difference between A and B now, and if you can, let me know what you think. But I don't see any difference whatsoever between either codec. The only reason I would use, and am using XAVC HD for this entire video, is to give the camera the benefit of the doubt, or if you wanted to shoot 30 frames per second instead of 60 frames, but you are going to need a dedicated micro SD card for that functionality to work, a dedicated high-speed SD card or micro SD card. And I did mention a big asterisk on that 9 megapixel sensor for image stills. That is not really 9 megapixels. It's actually whatever resolution 1920 by 1080p comes out to. If you multiply both of those, I think it's 2.9 or 3.1, something like that, megapixels. And it just gets that and puts it into a 9 megapixel container and says it's a 9 megapixel image. You get no 9 megapixels worth of data. It's just practically a screen grab from the video in a 9 megapixel image file, which doesn't look very good. These camcorders oftentimes come with built-in image stabilization, and in this case I'm holding it handheld about half a foot away from my face, and it's doing a pretty good job at keeping everything stable. It's not very wiggly or anything like that. And actually I'm going to get up a bit right now and just walk around. But a lot of the time these cameras have pretty good image stabilization. You're going to hear a lot of noise from the jacuzzi that's right here, but you're going to see that it's actually pretty stable as I'm walking around. And also you do get a little flip out screen, which is what I'm looking at right now, just to make sure that I'm in frame. Here I am in left frame, right frame, center frame. So that's could be one thing or several reasons why you may want to get something like this versus using your phone, because your phone may not get such good image stabilization as this. Now I did say I was going to show off some cameras, or at least a phone camera, to compare to the camcorder, and here's my front-facing camera for my Pixel 7 Pro. This is just me walking around showing you that it's pretty stable and the image quality is decent, but again, this is already something that I have and I don't have to go out of my way to purchase, and it does a pretty good job. This is a 1080p 60, just to match that 1080p 60 on the camcorder. And if I flip the camera around to the front face or the back facing camera, the image quality is going to be a little better. Now if you really wanted to, here is the back facing camera on my phone. Again, shooting 1080p 60. The stabilization is a little better on the back camera versus the front. So you can really see what you can get with just whatever you have on you versus going out of your way spending over $200 or at least $200 on a camcorder, when this does just fine for what I need it for. But not to really bark on camcorders, I did use one to start the YouTube channel that you're watching videos on. If you really want to see, go back to my early videos. Those were all shot on a camcorder, and it did just fine back then, but times have changed, cameras have gotten better, and a lot of the times the phone you're using to watch this video or make phone calls or text your friends also does better as a camcorder than a camcorder. On a creative side, this is where you can easily argue for or against it without really... It's a lot harder to answer a yes or no question for the creative aspect of camcorders, because creatively the yeses would be for the aesthetic, the look of it. A lot of these camcorders shoot image qualities that are reminiscent of camcorders and cameras from the mid-2010s, the early 2000s, and a lot of people like getting these because of that look and feel. but again, you don't really have very much creative control, which again also helps because it's just point, click, shoot, and you're good to go. And if you hear any background noise, that's actually a good thing. So you hear what the microphone is like. There's no external mics connected to this or anything like that. But again, for the creative aspect, it's either yes or no depending on what you're going for. If you don't like the image quality like I don't, then it's a big no. It's something that I probably wouldn't use anymore after this, because that 1080p is no better than what I can get out of the LG G8 that I normally use for some of my videos. But if you're looking to get started on a YouTube channel, or you're looking to get something cheap dedicated for video, perhaps maybe you can put up with the image quality and the other pitfalls that this camera has, and put up with it as a creative aesthetic that you're trying to follow. But other than that, my final answer for this video is a resounding no. It's not worth owning a camcorder in 2023, going into 2024 and beyond, because of the technical limitations of the camera, the image quality, and the fact that the phone in your pocket, regardless of what year it's been in, if it's made between 2015 and now, or even beyond, is going to take better pictures and video than what this camcorder, any camcorder, is able to capture. If you agree or disagree, just leave a comment down below and I'll chime in on that. Or if you have any ideas to what you like using your camcorders for, just let me know and I'll chime in on that. But with that being said, thank you all for watching. See you all in the next video.